Hello everyone and welcome back. Last time on Void Changer we cleared the entirety of Void Changer Grey in the minimum amount of Void Rod uses, that being 587. But let's be real, it can definitely be lower. This time we're going for the descending, which is going to require some changes to the rules. Firstly, skips in UI manipulation will be allowed this time around. I don't think it's possible to get the descending without UI manipulation. Secondly, the way we'll be tallying Void Rod uses will be slightly different. It's still based off the counter in the top right, but anytime we use the Void Rod and then intentionally die, the pre-death Void Rod uses will be counted towards the total. As you might expect, the start of the run isn't very interesting until we get to B23, but before we get there I'd like to use this time to explain the difference between this run and a speedrun, because I was asked this question a few times. If not obvious by me pointing out, low Void Rod uses does not always equal save time. I'm going to use an example from the no skips and the descending route. In the no skips route, in B151, the world record holder uses 4 Void Rod uses to complete it, when in my run, it doesn't use a single Void Rod use. And a bigger example of this is in the descending route, where they draw adds brand in Gore's domain to get back up to the top, but for us, it takes far too many Void Rod uses for it to be even considered as an option. I do think something like low Void Rod percent could be a speedrun category, but that's only if people want to run it, because I certainly don't. After we collect Void Memory, which takes us 15 Void Rod uses, we progress normally until B28, where we use UI manipulation to get 27 locusts. Then, in the next room, we skip all the way to B56, where we again use UI manipulation to get 55 locusts. Then, we progress normally until we get to B's brand room, which took us 25 Void Rod uses for a total of 40. In B's brand room, we draw B's brand, which takes us 29 Void Rod uses and allows us to get the Void Wings, easily the most useful item in this run. Now, here's where the run gets really interesting, as we have a choice of ways to go. Our next goal is drawing Tan's brand so we can kill Tail and Gore, and the two places we can draw Tan's brand are either in Tan's brand room or Mons. It takes 18 Void Rod uses in Mons, but it's closer, and Tan's takes 16 but is further away. And now here's the kicker. The closest we can get to Tan's brand room with the maximum amount of locusts at this time is B at 133, which takes 4 Void Rod uses to clear, and is the last brain before Tan's brand room that requires Void Rod uses. So you'd think we'd have to go to Mons 6x6, but there's a piece of forbidden tech that we can use to get further. On B60 or any other brain with an accessible chest that has a locust in it, pick up the locust, then close and reopen the game. This allows us to get more locusts for warping, but is a one-time move because any more will send us to a void trial, and after all of these shenanigans, we finally reach our goal of Tan's brand room with a total of 87 Void Rod uses. Entering Tan's brand room forces us to this boss fight, but luckily for us it's super easy and only takes 2 Void Rod uses. After we exit Tan's brand room, we immediately hit another crossroad for routes to take. Our current goal is to kill Gore, then to return up to the first couple of floors, and there are 3 ways we can do this. First, we can progress normally until B156, but unfortunately the Atona statue is behind these rocks and requires us to use the Void Rod 8 times. But if we use UI manipulation at B140 to use Locust to Smiler to B171 and use that Atona statue, that only takes us 6 Void Rod uses. And the last option is to draw Ad's brand in Gore's 6x6, which takes 17 Void Rod uses, so that is a total no-go. But what if I told you there's another method? Take a look at this. That's right, this route requires a specific brand in order for it to be completed. And with this technique we can get all the way back to B01 with only an extra 1 Void Rod use for a total of 88. After returning to the top it's smooth sailing from here. We reach Tail in a cool 1 Void Rod use, then grab some locusts in B28 with 4 Void Rod uses. Then we kill Tail with another 4 Void Rod uses. Then we use the Smiler on B31 to get to B56, where we use UI manipulation to get to B0 with a total of 108 Void Rod uses. After we pick up the Endless Rod, we intentionally die to lower our locust count. Then, we warp to B53 and draw a Sif's Brand and 5 Endless Rod uses. Pick up the locust and Sif's Brand room, and then make our way to B227 with a total of 117 Void Rod uses. And now for part of the challenge I've been dreading, drawing the Dis Brand. But thankfully it wasn't as bad as I thought. The theoretical lowest is 19 Endless Rod uses, but my personal best is 21. And with this, we go through the entirety of the pre-Dis part of the run in 138 Void Rod uses. You might want to take a deep breath for this one. Dis Brains 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, 22, 24, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 37, as well as the gate and the room before the gate, don't require us to use the Endless Rod once. The only one of these brains worth mentioning is D24 because I spent 30 minutes on it and I got the lowest Void Rod total of 6 before realizing how stupid I am. D27 requires us to use the Endless Rod once. This brain is a good example of how much memory fragments can change puzzles, but it hardly matters because I've already collected them all. D18, 25, and 26 require the Endless Rod to be used twice, though none of them are particularly interesting. I think now is a good time to mention this weird dream I had. In it, I was playing Void Stranger and I was doing a puzzle that looked like this. I'm pretty sure it's actually impossible unless it was one tile wider. Anyways, weird memory over. D5 and D12 are both simple puzzles that probably took most people only 3 Endless Rod uses. D3, 10, 21, and 36 take 4 Endless Rod uses. Personally, I don't think any of these brains are interesting, but I guess D10 was pretty cool. D16 is the only brain that takes us 6 Endless Rod uses, and D20 is the only one that takes us 7. The most I have to say for these brains is that I thought D16 could go lower, but I went all the way back to check and I was wrong. 6 is as low as it will go. D9 and 19 both take 8 Endless Rod uses, and for once I have something to say about one of these brains. And I just want to show you what this clip I have of me trying to solve D9. Not my proudest moment. D23 takes 9 Endless Rod uses, and this one's a great example of how the order and what the tiles you pick up with the Endless Rod can affect your result. And D2 takes 10 Endless Rod uses. D11 takes 12 Endless Rod uses, and as far as I'm aware, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is one of the puzzles in the game that only has one solution. And finally, D15 and D17 both take 16 Endless Rod uses, and both are puzzles I struggled on immensely, and I do strongly believe that D17 can be lower, but this video has already somehow taken 3 months, so I'm just going to settle for this. Well, it's over now, and that felt rather anticlimactic, so I guess I can actually mention the boss fights I skipped over. Or should I say boss fight singular, as the Sith fight is just not happening in this run, as it takes far too many Void Rod uses to do the intentional way, question mark. Which leaves us with just the B boss fight, and while not too much more difficult than normal, it's still a problem, as the main way people advance the action in this fight being using the Endless Rod, which is obviously not an option for us. That and not being able to change the floor layout to be more advantageous makes this fight harder than normal, but not too hard, and I actually recommend you try to fight B this way yourself. And with that slightly less anticlimactic end to this, it's time to announce our final Void/Endless Rod count of 259. No ending bit this time, wasn't able to come up with any. Also, sorry about how long it took to make this. I probably could have finished this video in under a month for the first one. Thank you for watching this video, and don't worry, unless this video mega flops, the hard mode video will be made. Thank you for your support, and farewell.